1977, I remember going to a celebration to honor his 100th birthday. Now, I don't remember a lot about that birthday party, other than I remember him literally dancing the night away with the ladies. Literally. Ironically, there was a reporter there from the Deseret News who did a little article, and the caption of his title, next please, was 100 and he'd rather dance. And so it's a fun family memory to think about great-grandpa Hanson. He lived for nearly 3 more years, dying in late 1979. I was too young then to really understand what it meant to meet that 100-year-old milestone. And it's only been more recently where I really understood the significance of it. And let me kind of share with you what I mean by that. Anthony, next. You see, my great-grandpa was born in 1877. He was born during the Ulysses S. Grant administration. He was part of the Reconstruction after the Civil War. He would have been alive during the Spanish-American War and heard about Theodore Roosevelt charging up San Juan Hill. He would have been alive during the Wright brothers first flying an airplane. He would have been alive during the sinking of the Titanic, World War I, the Great Depression, World War II, Korea, the Cold War, Vietnam, and probably the most significant human endeavor ever, which is putting man on the moon in 1969. What I find even more fascinating is to think about the technological changes that he would have seen firsthand in his lifetime. You see, when my great-grandpa was born, people lit their homes with kerosene oil, and he would have done that for the first 35 years of his life. Additionally, when my great-grandpa was born, the primary means of transportation was the horse and buggy. And he would have used a horse and buggy for the first 40 years of his life. He would also have been around for the advent of the airplane, the advent of the radio, the television, the transistor, nuclear energy, rocketry. These are some of the things that he would have seen in his lifespan. So really the message I take away from that is 1, change is constant. 2, progress can't happen without change. And 3, change in human history has been more rapid the last 100 years than any time ever. Ever. Next, please. So I want to enforce this for just a moment by engaging you, the audience, to talk about change for a moment. I want to do it first by baby boomers. By raise of hand, how many baby boomers do we have here today? Okay. You can see on the board that baby boomers were born sometime between 1946 and 1964. So baby boomers, yell it out. Tell me, when you were young, what was one of the major technological changes that you experienced and saw? Yell it out.
Going to the moon.
Going to the moon. That's an excellent one. What other technologies did you see or experience as a young person?
Television.
Television. Okay. Anything else? Okay, Anthony, next. Generation X. I'm part of Generation X. These are people born between 1965 and 1979. Same question to you, Generation X. Shout out what some of the major technological changes that you would have experienced in your young years.
Computers.
Cell phone. Internet.
Internet. Cell phones. Color TV. What about the personal computer? VCR. The microwave. Cell phones. That's exactly right. Let's do the next one. Millennial generation. 1980 to 1994, raise hand. Who's the millennials? Oh, quite a few. Biggest group so far. Share with us, what's the biggest change in technology that you've experienced in your young lives?
AI.
AI, what else?
Y2K.
Y2K,
Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
what else?
10 years of bad cars.
10 years of bad cars. All right.
CD players.
What's that?
CD players.
CD players. Okay. Let's do one more. Generation Z. Raise your hand if you're part of Generation Z. Got just a couple of you. That's excellent. What are some of the things that you recall in your very young lives of technological changes? AI. What else? Anything else? Okay. I want to just reiterate for a moment that change is constant. But there is a major change that is here and now. And it's not going away. And it's going to have significant impacts upon not only your private life, but on your professional life as well. It was stated before. Can you tell me what it is? Real loud. AI. Next, please. That's exactly right. AI is here to stay. Now, I'm going to talk about AI for just a few moments. I'm sure you have a lot of interesting opinions, perhaps even misconceptions about it. Let me begin by telling you what AI is. AI generally can be divided up into many categories. But the two categories I want to share with you today is called generative AI and predictive AI. They're very similar in that they both, when requested to do so, will go out to the web and scan hundreds of thousands of documents in a very, very quick style to get you back what you requested. Predictive AI focuses on predicting the future, predicting scientific models, and providing the user with predictive data. But more commonly used is called generative AI. Generative AI is where the user will use AI to go out to the internet, scan documents, learn from those documents to build what the prompt was by the user. It could be a research paper, it could be an article, it could be an email, it could be a letter, it could be an avatar. The list is literally endless. But the notion is it does this in absolutely seconds. And it learns quickly what it's scanning when it goes out to fulfill the requirement. Next, please. What I want to say, go ahead to the next slide, please. What I want to do is talk really briefly about what AI is not. And this is really important. Let's see if I can control it here. How many of you have seen this movie? The Terminator. What AI is not is Skynet. Remember Skynet on this movie? Skynet was AI of its day. It was a computer system that deemed humans to be expendable, and its goal was to rid Earth of them. You might recall the movie that the humans got wise and they thought, well, let's go back in time to see if we can change time by destroying Skynet in its infancy. But of course, Skynet learned about this and sent this character back to try to terminate that endeavor. I do not believe AI is Skynet. I do not believe it has the capacity to do what the conspiracists say it will do, is destroy our human world. I don't believe that at all. Next, please. What I want to do is take just a moment, and first of all, I want to ask you a question. How many of you have actually tried AI? Raise your hand. A few of you. I want to demo for you really quickly AI. And so if you'll bear with me, I want to show you, for those who have not used AI, I'm going to demo a couple things here, so bear with me. I'm going to go to a software called ChatGPT. This is a very common generative AI software. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take an email that Mark Smedley sent me. And Mark gets paid by the hour, so he sends me very long emails. I'm kidding, Mark. I'm kidding. But I'm going to take an email that he drafted right here. And you can see it was written by Mark to the city council. And I'm going to cut and paste this. It's a very long email, as you can tell. And I'm going to cut and paste it. I'm going to come back over to ChatGPT, and I'm going to say, I can put the microphone down.
Please don't say fix it.
Please summarize
Oh, great.
Mark's email. So I'm now going to provide the content of that email right here. I'm going to paste it right in there. You can see it put in there. And now I'm going to hit enter. It's still too long.
There was a lot of content.
You can see, though, it did it in seconds. So let's continue on. I've read the summary, and I'm very pleased with Mark's effort here. So I'm going to say, provide a response letter to Mark. I'm going to even go better. A complimentary, COMPLIMENTA, letter response to Mark.
Everybody, somebody take a picture of this for me.
Okay, so I'm going to write a response letter.
I got it.
Okay.
So there's a response letter complimentary to Mark regarding that. But let's say I'm not happy with Mark's effort.
You don't
Respond
need to take a picture of this.
This is more likely scenario.
with negative.
Wasn't me.
You ever read my emails?
So this is the negative response to Mark.
He's just disagreeing with my position.
The point I'm trying to make here is this is done very, very rapidly, very, very quickly. And these are very simple AI requests. Matthew mentioned this morning that we have a new fleet manager. Let me show you this AI. Produce it's like a summary of best fleet practices.
You spelled it wrong.
In seconds, it has scanned the internet, gleaned the best practices, and then provided me back a very quick response. What would have normally taken maybe hours, days to research is now done in seconds. I want to provide one last one for you. I hope it's still here. I gotta go back to my email to find it because it's not on the computer. Bear with me for a second. Go to my inbox. Here it is. This is an AI video that Anthony created yesterday in 15 minutes.
Do you have questions about your next planning or building project? No problem, we can help. I have a question. How do I determine the exact zoning for an address on the zoning map?
On the map, find the color-coordinated zoning chart on the bottom right-hand corner of the Heber City zoning map found on our city website.
I have another question. How do I find the municipal code for a particular zone?
Go to our city website, select Planning, and then click on Municipal Code for Title 18 zoning, or go to the City Municipal Code at municipalcodeonline.com.
Thanks for helping with those questions.
You're welcome. Most information can be found on our city website.
So that is just a very brief demonstration of the power of AI. I've taken the liberty of providing some AI benefits here. I've categorized them under general administration. AI can draft meeting minutes in seconds. It can conduct research. It can create application forms. It can provide customer service with better and smarter web visual assistance, like I just demonstrated for you a moment ago. It can do report writing. It can do letter drafting. It can create job descriptions. It can shortlist applicants. It can summarize data. It can do faster and more thorough policy analysis. For the airport, it can conduct landing and fuel flowage predictive assessments. For public safety, they can do safety camera monitoring and rapid recognition of illegal events. And Chief, I understand you have that technology in place now. Is that correct? He stepped up. The answer to that is yes. Can you go to the next one, Anthony? Public Works, predictive analysis with street sweeping routes to increase efficiency. Parks and cemetery, park usage and amenity investment. Engineering, predictive analysis with road maintenance, utility maintenance, managing capital assets. In community development, visualize development projects and predict impacts. Flagging non-compliant applications, providing instant feedback. And verify compliance with development certificates. This is a simple list I generated in about an hour of the benefits that AI can do for our organization. So, the reason I showed you this is I am giving you permission. Let me repeat that. I am giving you permission to begin experimenting and practicing and learning about AI. I want us as an organization to begin leveraging AI in the provision of basic services to our customers. In the next couple of months, I'm going to be generating a policy that will eventually govern how we utilize AI in the workplace. That policy will focus on protecting, obviously, private information, ensuring transparency, making sure people understand where and how we're applying AI in the provision of services, and of course, making sure that each of you feel comfortable in the application of AI in your workplace. See, I believe that AI is going to, in many cases, revolutionize what you do, particularly when it comes to mundane, busy tasks. It will shorten them and also, of course, increase the accuracy of those reports when we properly leverage AI. Next, please. So, the last point I want to make, and this is an important one, is that I can't afford to have you guys simply be observers of change. You see, I need you to be ambassadors of change. I need you to be the change that takes place in the organization, such as using AI to improve the workplace, making it more efficient, improving the quality of our product. Dave and Matthew both said that change is not easy or convenient, and that's absolutely true. You see, human nature is such where it prefers comfort over uncomfort. It prefers lack of risk versus risk-taking. It prefers easiness versus something that's hard. But we have to resist that human nature and resist not trying to be the agents of change that we need you to be. Next, please. So I want to go back to my great-grandpa for a moment. I mentioned that for the first 40 years of his life, he would have driven a horse and buggy as his major means of transportation. In the early 20th century, Ford invented the automobile. Imagine how easy it would have been for my great-grandfather's generation to say, no way. I know the horse and buggy. I know how to handle a horse. I know how to draw a horse. I know how to manage a horse and buggy. The new car, I got to take time to learn how to drive it. I've got to take time to learn how to maintain it. I've got to learn how to fix it. Realize that there were very few dealerships back there. There were very few people who knew how to change the lube and oil in the car. And there were probably even less people who knew how to maintain or fix the car, let alone having the right tools available to make the repairs that are needed. Fortunately for us, my great-grandfather's generation saw the wisdom and the opportunity with the automobile. And we have benefited because of that decision. And our lives have had greater quality. We've had greater opportunities because of that. Next, please. So very quickly, we've talked about this a great deal, about our field of dreams. And we've talked about many things, but what I want to focus on is when each of you will have an opportunity to go up to bat. Every day you come to work, you'll have a chance to go up to bat, and you'll have a chance to hit a home run, a triple, a double, a single. And we've talked about how singles win ball games. And what this means is that when you hit a single, it means that you find a new way of doing something. You've improved a process. You've created a stop doing list. You've maybe identified ways in which we can outsource, maybe leverage the private sector, or maybe partner with another local government. It's simply ways of trying to improve your workspace, to improve your work function so life is easier at work. You're more efficient, you're more effective. That's what swinging the bat is all about. And I will tell you, we've hit some major home runs. We've hit some major home runs with CityWorks, City Plus, and many other software applications that are hopefully streamlining and making much easier the skills and the things that are required of us to do. And so I'm asking you to swing that bat, put the ball in play, find ways to improve what it is that you do, and strongly consider using AI to do that. You have permission to do that. Next, please. In your folder, I left my folder on the chair down there, you have a get out of jail free card. We've given these out over the last couple of years. I'm giving you another one today because I want you to feel comfortable in taking a risk and trying something new, getting out of your comfort zone. And if you fail, great. We're going to learn the lessons that got to be learned and move on. As long as it's not purposeful or egregious, we're going to learn the lessons and move on. But I need you to take some risks and figure out how we can put that ball in play. Okay? Next, please. I want to tee this up. This is a SMART program, Save More After Renewed Thinking. This is a program I put in place in a previous city I managed. They still have it in place. And what this program is about is simply awarding the employee a portion of the savings that results from their ideas. Let me say that again. This program is intended to award the employee for bringing ideas forward and paying you a portion of the savings that's tied to that idea. I brought this to the city council last week. It was brought before the personnel committee a couple of weeks ago. We're going to be finalizing this, and we're going to be bringing it forward, and hopefully each of you will bring your ideas forward to see if they qualify potentially for some financial reimbursement. You see, this organization has got to lead the way with AI, with becoming more efficient. Why? For 3 reasons. 1, we have seen 40-year high in inflation. The cost of providing services is getting higher and higher. And we have to learn how to do our trade and our craft a little bit better, a little bit more productive, a little more efficient. 2, as our community understands AI more, they're going to expect that we use it. Because they know and will realize that organizations that use AI are likely to be more efficient, more productive. And 3, the more efficient we are, the more resources there are for your salary increases and for your health benefits. So you have a stake in this. You have to play your part in order to pull this off. Next, please. So don't let the fear of striking out keep you from playing the game. In this case, from swinging the bat. Okay? So that concludes my comments. I know we're running late. Is Shri right out there by chance? Can you bring her up? What we want to do is, of course, draw the names of those of you who, thank you, Shri, come on up. Draw 3 names who took the time to fill out the little card that was in your folder about what you're doing to help make Heber a remarkable community. So we got 3 over there, is that right? We have 4. So I'm going to pull the name, I'm going to read what's on it, and I'm going to have you come up and pick your prize up.
Sure, is it too late to put it in? Oh, hurry!
Come on up. Come on up.
I'll make
You,
it.
actually, I see a lot of them. Come on up. Put your...
Got it? I was gonna say yeah.
It's a technique.
Anybody
Going once, going twice. So Dave Blumquist indicated that he's an old fart. I'm not far behind, and I can't see this, so I'm going to ask to reread it. So,
Okay. Leave the public with a good experience so that the public has a good the police has a good reputation of the city and its employees. Brian Berg.
Brian Berg, come on up and get your prize. Thank you.
Don't encourage him.
All right, the next one.
Can't read it.
The next one is from Chris Pedersen. It says, share what it was like growing up here when it was...
Still a small town and an amazing place.
All right, Chris, come on up. Thank you, Chris. All right. Third one.
I don't ever win.
Says, ensure city residents comply with municipal codes. Travis Price. I've dealt with a lot of code enforcement officers in my 27-year career, and Travis is hands down the best. Fourth is, I'll keep the landscape looking good. Cody Giles. There's Cody out. All right, we have just one more slide to show you. We did the employee drawing, water cooler talk. We have just a couple minutes left. It's really your time to ask any questions about what you heard this morning. It's also a time to ask questions about the city in general. Before you leave, though, folks, if you'd also take a moment and just take a picture